Hey, how are you? I'm SliceofOtaku, and the expansion of Homeworld's empire is dependent on both the conquest and acquiring of various planetoids. Every gem is designated a role that in some way or another plays a part in the ultimate objective of planetary acquisition. Their technology also steadily advances to make the process more and more simple, and although they may owe such progression to time may not be completely in their favor. Despite the technological advances achieved between Era 1 and Era 2, certain compromises had to be made. According to Peridot, Era 2 gems lack certain attributes that would come naturally to their Era 1 counterparts. They lack abilities such as shapeshifting, super strength, and weapon summoning. Such powers that when adhering to the Darwinian concept of survival of the fittest would once place them above humans. To put it simply, gemkind has de-evolved since their transition into Era 2. The species has grown decrepit, relying upon their technological advancements to compensate for their now weakened state. Era 2 may be regarded as the species moving forward, but they've been hurt by the gem war for Earth far more than they've led on. Blue Diamond, one of the three remaining matriarchs of Homeworld, has been rather distracted from her duties for thousands of years due to the loss of Pink Diamond. Not only that, but the expense of resources required of them to produce soldiers and weaponry to combat an army of equally capable gems that may continually resurface due to the healing capabilities of their leader. Now, try and consider what Homeworld actually gained from this war. Nothing. The only possible benefit being the cluster, the emergence prospect of which has been extinguished. The war for Earth is the greatest loss Homeworld has ever seen, which plagues them to this very day. According to Peridot, resources on Homeworld are dwindling. The resources of a planet play a vital role in the state of a gem upon emergence. Homeworld, by the looks of it, has very little left to give. Now, although we don't know the exact ingredients required to produce a gem, we do know that an injector, as its name implies, injects a gem which would be merely colorful goo at this point deep below a planet's surface. This goo would then go on to solidify and absorb useful energy around it, gradually approaching completion, which would be signified by them exiting to the planet's surface. Now, of course, the capability and dedication of the kindergartner responsible is rather important, but the planetoid they work with is the factor which defines variables outside of the kindergartner's control, as the process of gem creation isn't perfect. But regardless, the more plentiful a planet's resources, the more valuable it may be in gem creation, thus producing valuable gem specimens. The Earth is one such planet, as seen in the case of Jasper, the quote-unquote perfect quartz. Only an incredible planet would be capable of producing such a gem. It's also entirely possible that Pink Diamond also owes her own emergence to Earth, as I can't imagine her and the other three diamonds originating from Homeworld along with countless other gems. That sort of strain would most likely push the planet of Homeworld to its expiration, as the resources of a planet are not infinite, especially not one that lacks organic life. It seems the greatest issue with Homeworld's planetary occupation stems from its greatest virtue. Homeworld is superb when it comes to taking, but can be pretty cheap when it comes to giving back. This is not only by choice, but partially by design. As inorganic life, they don't contribute to a planet's ecosystem in the same way organic life would. And so the circle of life is utterly disregarded by them, and although taking without needing to give back may very well seem to yield the most benefit, in this case, it may not. In the episode message received, Peridot urged Yellow Diamond to consider the unique organic attributes of Earth to no avail, but I believe this to be a prelude to what's to eventually be the establishment of Era 3. As I've already said, Homeworld is great at taking, and as a result, use up a planet's resources until it's reduced to zero. But theoretically, if they were to allow a level of organic life to persist on certain planets, the energy required for valuable gems would be continuously replenished and readily available to them. Pearl once recounted a stage of humanity that merely consisted of hunting and gathering, completely reaping the benefits of one area and moving on to the next once you've had your fill. Homeworld, as it is, may be compared to this era of humanity. Learning to properly recycle useful resources would surely propel the species to further unimaginable heights. Although, to do so would also require alteration to their cultural bias against organic life, amongst other things. If anything, maybe this is something Pink Diamond herself saw potential in, leading her to create the human zoo and further her understanding of the potential organic life could hold in a mutually beneficial pairing with her own species. For Era 3 to be achieved, the Homeworld mentality itself must be reworked, and if there's any grand purpose for the crystal gems to eventually fulfill, I think this would be it. I had a lot of fun putting this theory together, so I'm really curious how you might feel about it. Please let me know in the comments, and if you liked the video and want to propel us even further, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.